They rallied from 15 down yesterday, and Quentin Hillsman said, if you're not going to do it for yourself or for each other, let's do it for Priscilla. They did just that, and I'm sure the sentiment similar pregame today to try and win for their teammate and get on to the finals. Both secure in their spots in the NCAA tournament, although Syracuse, with an impressive showing, could get off that 8-9 line and perhaps avoid a matchup with a top seed in the second round. Louisville, with a tournament championship debut to go along with their regular season ACC crown, would be flirting with the top line and a potential #1 seed. Engstler rebounds the miss and puts it back up and in for the Orange.
So what you're going to see is a man-to-man defense out of Louisville where they like to protect inside out. They're not an overplaying or gambling sort of defense, but Jeff Walz will pick his times when he does that. And this is a 2-3 zone for Syracuse. You have to be able to attack the gaps, and you have to look to get a kick and move the ball against their defense.
Second chance opportunity here for the Cardinals. This is Evans. #1 in white, off the bounce. Kiana Smith, her second three-ball attempt, and this one goes.
So typically Dana Evans starts games looking to set up her teammates, and she does that again today. That's a nice offensive rebound and reset by the Cardinals.
Both sides love to use their defense to try and turn you over and run with it the other way. Jabdi Tardy getting the start today and off the window. Maeva and Amaya Finkley were terrific for the Orange off the bench in the win yesterday. It is a short bench. They have a handful of players that are not with the team on this trip, and then of course they're also down the 2 injured starters.
So Kiara Lewis, her mindset is more shots for me.
There you go.
Camila Cardoso, more touches for me. And Quentin Hillsman understands that those are the 2 go-to players on the floor for him. Emily Engstler could be the X factor though, because of her ability to be that glue player and make the extra hustle play like Mikasa Robinson does for Louisville.
That's the bucket, assist Evans. Quentin Hillsman, the winningest coach in Syracuse history. Jeff Walz, the same at Louisville, and they score off the steal.
Full court pressure. I think this is how Louisville gets in rhythm on the offensive end. What you want to do is take Syracuse deeper into that shot clock.
This is off the window. No touches yet for Cardoso inside for the Orange.
She's 6'7", and that's hard to guard, especially if you let her get a deep catch like that.
Oh, they must have had us. Missed the first one, second one fouled.
I mean, 2 feet in the paint, 2 points for Cardoso. And she runs the floor pretty well. She'll own the middle against Louisville because she'll run straight to the rim, gets a high seal, good pass away from the defense. I think in the offseason she'll be working on that left hand a little bit.
Highest rated recruit ever to arrive in upstate New York, along with Priscilla Williams, another top 10 recruit, and Emily Engstler was the first top 10 national recruit that Hillsman was able to lure into the Carrier Dome. All off of that trip to the Final Four in 2016, when they also played in the ACC tournament finals.
I mean, on paper, Syracuse had the 3rd best talent in the league. Certainly, when Monicahio was on the floor with Kiara Lewis, that was an all-ACC backcourt. They both have been first-teamers. Not this year. They're both honorable mention guards in this league. That's how good the young talent is in the ACC.
Here's Cardoso with the rebound. Holly?
Well, Camila Cardoso at 6'7" is originally from Brazil, but was playing high school ball in Chattanooga, Tennessee. And Felicia Milton-Jones, who was formerly on this staff, said, hey, I think this is a recruit we can get in on. So Q went down, Quentin Hillsman went and watched her play in Tennessee, and sure enough, she's come. 6'7", she is a dominant force inside, had the game winner last night, and the future is very bright for her.
5 double-doubles this year, Holly. She led the league in field goal percentage and blocks, so she can have an impact on both ends of the floor. Bothered that one right there. Cochran stays with it, and the freshman will head to the stripe.
She did lead the league in block shots. She was the best rebounder as a freshman. She works hard for position on the inside, and that's half the battle when you're 6'7", is trying to get that deep post catch right at the rim, where at 6'7", you know it's really challenging to defend.
She was huge in the quarterfinal win with the game winner and the double-double, and this is a glimpse right here at the future battles in the paint in the league, because Cochran has put up impressive numbers in her rookie season as well for Louisville. 11 points, 7 rebounds per game. And she and Van Lith have had a big impact for Jeff Walls this year. Haley Van Lith, a career high 24 points, 6 triples in their quarterfinal win.
She hit 6 triples when these two teams met earlier this year. Yeah, see, that's a matchup that could favor Syracuse because of the size advantage with Mikasa Robinson. However, Jeff Walls knows that Mikasa can guard 1 through 5. I mean, I thought Mikasa Robinson was the defensive player of the year in the ACC. She wasn't the top rebounder, she wasn't the top shot blocker, but she was the most versatile defender. And I think it allows Jeff Walls to scheme on the defensive end when you have somebody that understands their role and is willing to play it, Mikasa Robinson.
By the way, you think Jeff had a conversation with his players about being a little more aggressive to the basket today? They had 2, count them, 1, 2 free throws yesterday. They've already surpassed that here in the first 4 minutes.
Well, I know he had a conversation with Dana Evans when I spoke to him this morning. He talked about telling Dana how to add value to the team and how to help the team win, not just worrying about her own shot selection. Although that's important, but you have to have a balance. But when you go to the WNBA, you're not going to get that many shots. You might get half the amount of field goal attempts, and you got to impact the game in other ways.
They're looking for Cardoso inside, but unable to get that one by Cochran up and in. Van Lith tipped out of bounds.
See, that's where you need to make the bounce pass. You know, that entry into Cochran would allow her to drop step to the bucket.
Van Lith right now the only player on the floor without a shot. It's been very democratic. The other 9 starters all have an attempt so far. Just outside the line and good for 3. Elizabeth Balagoon.
So you'll notice from Syracuse, they go 2-3, but then there is either a call or wherever the ball is or in a particular matchup, Quentin Hillsman will switch to man-to-man. And so when you get that matchup and Jeff Walls knows it's coming, he can take advantage of it, like Balagoon being guarded on the perimeter by 6'7" Cardoso.
Kiera Lewis. Short on that shot. Her duties increased today without Tiana Makaya, so she becomes the primary ball handler for the Orange. Robinson off the mark. Cardoso clears it out. And here she is walking it up, getting instruction from Hillsman.
Most of the year, Tiana Makaya dominated the ball on the top of the floor, running the point. Now Lewis, who played the point last year, has the ball in her hands earlier in the offense, and she is very good off the bounce.
14-8, the top seed, Louisville on top early.
The NCAA Women's Basketball Championship on ESPN.
Syracuse with some trouble here early as a couple of their key starters have picked up early fouls. Kiera Lewis and Emily Angsler. They are down to just 7 players today after 4 players were left home from this trip suspended for a violation of team rules. Quentin Hillsman saying everybody else just has to pick it up. They want to win this one for Priscilla Williams, who was carted off this court and is back in her hotel room watching this game. But guys, keep an eye on the fouls. That is big time trouble to have those early fouls, particularly on Kiera Lewis.
Yeah, and also watching the minutes, Holly. I'm sure Kiera will play as long as she needs to. Back-to-back games, Debbie. She played the full 40.
And she is perfectly fine with that.
On her 3rd day in a row. Semifinals Saturday. The winner gets a spot in the championship game tomorrow at noon on ESPN2.
Beth, remember Kiera Lewis last year was a first-team All-ACC guard playing the point guard position for Syracuse.
The other foul trouble is with Louisville. They're down a starter right now. Olivia Cochran, 2 quick fouls. She is out. And Dixon, her replacement, gets the layup, and here comes the full court pressure again.
And Dixon, part-time starter for Louisville. Jeff Walz, depending on matchups, has enough depth and versatility. Syracuse doesn't have that today.
Lewis.
She'll just keep playing in that ball screen action, and when she dribbles it past 4 or 5 dribbles, usually she's going to find her own shot. That means go to the glass.
And the travel, Balagoon. We're seeing the versatility, Debbie, of Engstler. So we've seen her score, we've seen her board. There, the flyby to force the turnover, and here she is, a really good press break reliever for the guards.
Yeah, she can handle. She has incredible skill set. Quentin Hillsman moves her around 1 through 5. Here she is breaking pressure. She's a former MVP of the Jordan Brand Classic. I mean, she's got game. And she's down 40 pounds from last season.
And as Holly just referenced, a developing situation for the Cuse. That's the second foul on Lewis.
Yeah, they would be in trouble with Kiera Lewis not dominating the ball on the top of the floor.
He just looked at his senior and reminded her to play smart here. 3:21 to go in the first quarter.
So now Jeff Walz is, I'm sure, going to try to put her in an even larger deficit on some matchup opportunities to try to pick up that third foul, because that would probably move Engstler to the point.
Jeff Walz, 3 trips to the Final Four with Louisville, twice into the national championship game. They got as high as #1 in the country for a couple of weeks during the regular season, the best in program history. And then lost to NC State. They're trying to get a rematch, perhaps, with the Wolfpack in the final. NC State and Georgia Tech coming up next as the Orange turn it over.
I think you play the game in segments if you're Quentin Hillsman. All right, you have to just break it down by every media timeout and try to stay within 2 or 3 possessions with your depth and with the minutes.
Van Lith and Evans, by the way, neither with a point thus far in the quarter as Haley turns it over.
I would say sloppy start for Louisville. And Wake Forest did a great job yesterday. Credit to Jen Hoover and her team who came in here. They always come in here and win. They've won, in the last 13 tournaments, they've won 11 times in the first round.
She is now the winningest coach, right? In
yeah,
Wake Forest history.
And
that Carolina win probably locked up a spot for them in the NCAA tournament for just the second time ever.
No question. They haven't been since 1988. This is the longest drought of any team in the NCAA tournament history, 33 years.
That foul is going to be on Syracuse. When you look at Charlie Cream's bracketology, a lot on the line for the Atlantic Coast Conference with Wake Forest, Notre Dame, both right there in the mix. North Carolina, probably another team that is in, but going to be an interesting conversation for the selection committee.
I think Wake Forest and North Carolina are in. I think Notre Dame needs some help. They need some other teams to lose that are in front of them. And that's a 24 consecutive NCAA tournament streak for the Irish.
Yeah. Looks like probably 8 from the ACC, 8 from the SEC. Don't forget SEC Network later today will have your SEC semifinals.
I'm looking forward to that South Carolina-Tennessee game.
Texas A&M, your regular season champs. We've also got the Pac-12 final for you on Sunday. That will be Stanford and UCLA. And boy, are the Cardinal red hot right now. Evans off the bounce. Cannot knock it down. She's still searching for her first basket. Here is HVL and Haley still with the bagel. And yet they lead at 16-10.
5 turnovers for Syracuse in the first quarter.
And just 3 baskets. Nearly another give by Lewis. Shot clock is down to 5. Enksler gonna have to jack.
You'll watch Louisville play more off the pass, and Syracuse plays more off the bounce. So Kiera Lewis has got to be able to get them in some earlier offense. Right now, they're just dribbling the ball and shortening the game, and that could be by design because of the lack of depth, but it's not getting their team in any sort of offensive rhythm.
Smith to Van Lith, and the lefty finally knocks one down. The triple for Haley, and a 9-point lead.
That's what I'm talking about, playing off the pass, Beth. Yesterday, Louisville had 20 assists on 28 made baskets. That's a good recipe for winning.
Inside Cardoso, and one.
Good seal, again, good job moving the ball. Dana Evans a little bit late on that help, but it's good action by Quentin Hillsman on the weak side. You take that help away, keep the weak side busy so that you can't camp out with 2 feet in the paint when Cardoso is trying to call for that lob.
Those SEC games, by the way, will be on ESPNU this afternoon. Final 30 seconds of this first quarter in our first semifinal of the day from Greensboro.
See, now man-to-man defense by Syracuse. And see, that's what I'm talking about with Jeff Walls. You get the ball to the playmaking spot about 8 or 9 seconds into the shot clock, and that forces that matchup. That's good coaching over there by the Cardinals.
Final 10 seconds, Enksler. Lot of dribbling. And cannot convert, but there's going to be a whistle and a foul on the rebound with 1.4 to go, and I think it's going to be on Van Lith. Her first. Orange will have a chance right here, so Syracuse will get Kiera Lewis back on.
I don't like it, Beth, because the angle that the official had, I thought that was a good box out, and Job DiTaldi created that contact. And a little chippiness amongst the combatants in the interior right now. The officials stepping in. Enksler. And doesn't get it up in time. 19-13 Louisville, Debbie. Haley Van Lith, 6 triples yesterday. Good ball movement by the Cardinals. You go inside out, you get a triple.
Shining, I'm gonna find that light.
Dance it down!
Give me that bucket.
She hits big shots in big moments.
And they're gonna get it! We have a new tournament champion. A big day tomorrow for you. We'll start it all out right here in Greensboro. The ACC championship game, noon Eastern. On ESPN2, will it be Louisville or Syracuse? Moving on. NC State and Georgia Tech in our second matchup. Tech seeking a first ACC tournament championship. NC State, your defending champs.
Louisville attacking this man-to-man defense by Cuse.
Laid up and in, Kiana Smith, the transfer from Cal. Jeff Walls and his staff, Debbie, have done a nice job in the transfer portal the last several years.
You mean in free agency?
However you choose to word it.
I think there's going to be a lot more players taking their talents to South Beach.
Job DiTaldi. Nice little turnaround move for the Orange. Yeah, we're seeing that across all sports now. A lot of movement with the players. Pull up is good. Alana Smith.
Really nice screen by Elizabeth Dixon. See, now I see Louisville getting in rhythm here offensively.
This is pretty wild, Debbie. Everybody that has played for Louisville has scored except for one person. The player of the year, Dan Evans.
The player that leads the league in scoring.
Defending on the ball right now.
You know, there's not even anybody on the men's side in the ACC that averages over 20 points. That's my motto. When in doubt, shoot it.
Shot selection, not a concern on that one?
I think Louisville's doing a good job of taking the ball away from Kiera Lewis once she gives it up. Don't let her get it back.
High post, the miss by Dixon, rebounded by Cardoso. She's got 4 boards to go along with 5 points.
And this is by design. Quentin Hillsman trying to shrink the possessions a little bit.
Lewis on the drive, won't go. Van Lith, weak side. And it's 4-on-3 for Louisville. Van Lith will spot it up and hit it. Her second triple of the afternoon. And Quentin Hillsman all over the court right now.
Don't even hesitate, HVL.
Officials had to shoo him back into the coach's box. The lob inside to Cardoso, that's a tough catch.
Yeah, but she's got to catch that.
Whistle and a foul. Jaldi Tabdi.
Syracuse ball, number 3, Jaldi Tabdi, her first personal, first arrest.
That's her first. Cardoso will check out. Maya Finkley is on.
So Kiera Lewis, her tendencies over her career is to be a scoring point guard. So when she goes to the paint, she's not looking to make a pass. She's looking to score or get to the free throw line, which she has been very good at in her career.
We got a 3-second call on that. I think Dixon was expecting the shot to go up.
You know how I feel about 3 seconds? Call it early in the game. If you don't call it in the first half, don't even try thinking about calling it in the second.
Why is that?
Just because of the rhythm and the way the players are, you know, they get a feel and a rhythm for the flow.
Engstler.
I know the officials are going to say it's the rule. I say it's the flow.
26-17. Smith faces up and down low.
Yeah, very good ball movement. Uncontested shots by Louisville if they're patient. And they're showing some really good offensive maturity here in this first half, and especially in the second quarter.
They've hit 4 of their 6 shots in the second quarter. As they've settled down, Engstler will head to the free throw line. ACC's 6th player of the year, moving into the starting lineup, though, due to the injuries.
I think she's key for them to be able to win. And I think she's got tremendous toughness. I think she plays with a great IQ. If you don't have the kind of IQ that she has, Quentin Hillsman can't move her around 1 through 5. And she will handle the ball on the top of the floor.
Well, guys, I was told by Syracuse folks that she is the program, that her impact on this program is immeasurable. You know, you talk about the 6th person of the year, but she has really come alive playing shooting guard the last couple of games out of necessity. And how about that Sports Center top 2 play at the half yesterday? Deb, I know you love her Sports Center plays.
Holly, great point. I mean, you got to have players like that, right, to build the kind of championship culture that Syracuse has built.
That's 2 buzzer beaters in the same game, right?
Yes, it is.
Why are they potentially a danger for a top seed if they're in the NCAA tournament as an 8 or a 9?
Because of their size, one thing, because of their shot conscious. You know, they're not worried about this possession or the next. They're just...
You mean their lack of a shot conscience? Is that?
Yes, that's what I mean, their lack of a shot conscious.
They're confident.
I mean, remember, this is a Syracuse program that played for the national championship game in 2016 against UConn. And they shot 39% for the season from the floor. They have other ways that they can impact the game, and they're not going to press Louisville and open up the floor. And the reason why nobody has pressed Louisville all year is because DePaul pressed them the whole game, and they scored 116 points.
Couple of chances here for the Orange. Digna Strautmane down on the deck to keep it alive. And there's Strautmane to grab the miss.
Doing enough to hang around right here. If Quentin Hillsman can keep this thing within single digits at the half, that will feel like momentum for his team for the second.
6-0 board, 6 second chance points for the Orange. Louisville by a touchdown. Dana Evans swatted.
What a play by Strautmane.
Evans still scoreless on the day. Kiara Lewis off the hesitation. No, more work on the glass. Finkley for 2.
Back-to-back offensive rebounds for Syracuse. That's 7 offensive rebounds in the first half. Now that will be something that Jeff Walz will not be happy about at halftime.
6-0 run for the Orange to get back in it. Evans defended by Lewis. Evans gets into the lane, and that one goes. After missing her first 4 shots, she's on the board. Taken away. Evans, walked with it.
Dana Evans, 20 points a game to lead the ACC. Finally, 2 points in the paint. Dana Evans, the back-to-back ACC Player of the Year, has come to this tournament struggling to score. She's tried to score in the mid-range. She's tried to get threes. And the way Syracuse defends with that length has been an issue. Strautmane doing a nice job with a block shot there. Dana Evans not finding a lot of space, but you know what? When you're on the top of the scouting report, you always get the best defender.
You're going to get the attention. Just 4 of 20 through the first game and a half, and yet Louisville fine right now. They're up on Syracuse for 10 to go, and the Orange finding more success by the rim. They've trailed by as much as 11 here in the first half.
Look how hard Louisville cuts through that zone.
Noriko Kono. Pass inside, no good. Kono, though, able to keep it alive. No Dana Evans on the floor right now for Louisville. Mikasa Robinson, no.
Look at Noriko Kono in there battling for offensive rebounds.
5'10" sophomore from Japan. She has played some international ball. Elizabeth Balagoon, number 4 in white, has spent some time with the Nigerian national team, even during the season.
Uh-oh. Seeing a little mean crossover there by HVL, the freshman for Louisville.
Could not shake Lewis, and Kono will hit the mid-range.
Yeah, Noriko Kono is an excellent shooter, and she's very good in the mid-range. You know, like most college students, she struggled a little bit this year being homesick, but that's that family environment that Jeff Walz and his staff have created to make her feel as comfortable as she can away from home. Not just away from home, but during the pandemic, can't go home.
15-footer got it for Lewis.
Yeah, Louisville continues to make her work for offense. That's the first time she's had a really good look.
And a turnover.
Let's see if Cardoso can get a touch in this possession.
She is 1 for 3 from the floor, 3 of 3 at the free throw line.
Yeah, see, to me, Beth, she should be taking the most shots for Syracuse.
3 of her teammates more shots than her to this point, and an offensive foul called inside. Romani Parker taking it.
So that's Romani Parker coming off the bench and paying attention to the scout. These two teams know each other so well. This is a set that Jeff Walls, he knows that there's an opportunity to draw this charge right here. That is good coaching. That is a good job by Parker, paying attention.
Third charge taken already by Louisville in this first half. First foul on Cardoso. And Kono dropping the three. Good production off the bench for Louisville.
So well liked by her teammates, Narika. 1-4 low here. Good D.
Lewis. 5 on the shot clock. And fouled on the 3 ball by Van Lith.
They did a tremendous job for 29 of the 30 seconds on the shot clock. And you see Haley Van Lith, all you got to do is contest. You can hear your teammates counting down the shot clock for you. That's okay. I mean, when you're a gym rat like Haley Van Lith, you don't need anybody to tell you that you made a mistake.
And that is her second foul. She will check out. Dana Evans comes back on. 1:10 to go here in the first half. Well, the Nothing But Net crew will be back at halftime and after the game. Break down everything for you with interviews with players and coaches, and also a preview of Georgia Tech and NC State coming up at the half. Kelsey Riggs, Monica McNutt, Kelly Gramlich, and Coach Buffett McGraw.
I can't wait for NC State and Georgia Tech to come rolling in here now. If we weren't in the pandemic, there'd be probably 6,000, 7,000 NC State fans in here for the semifinal Saturday, which is a great tradition here in Greensboro. It's even better when the North Carolina and the Dukes are playing well. Wake Forest certainly brought a good crowd yesterday.
And that'll be in here next week. So it'll be great, hopefully, next season to have the fans back with us full time as we continue to see things open up around the country. And a shot clock violation, good D from the Orange.
There's that length that we heard Holly referencing earlier about Syracuse's defense. Really doing a good job of switching in their man-to-man and keeping pressure on the ball. It's not just the handling, it's you can't see the rim when you have those big bodies that Syracuse has with that length and their wingspan.
Where do the Orange turn here? And a reach-in foul on Robinson.
Not a lot of free throws in this game, Beth.
Not from Louisville, 4 for 4. Syracuse, on the other hand, 10 for 10. About a 7-second differential shot and game clock. Lewis keeping an eye on it. Evans defending. Orange do not have a 3 yet. They'll try for one here. 0 for 6 in this first half. Evans with a chance and some time. Dana Evans across midcourt. Evans gonna take it all the way and draws the foul with 1.7 to go.
See, I would have fouled her at midcourt because you would have made Louisville inbound the ball there because you're not in the bonus yet. So I might have given one right there. Watch Enksler, the closing speed, down 40 pounds. She can run alongside Dana Evans. Evans draws a foul.
3 Syracuse starters with a couple of fouls here in this first half. First trip to the line of the ACC tournament for Dana. Evans now with 4 points. And Cuse content to hang on. Louisville with the lead through the first half, 37-30. Fighting for a spot in the ACC championship game tomorrow at high noon. Our second game still to come later today. The defending champion NC State Wolfpack and the Ramblin' Wreck of Georgia Tech. 37-30, Louisville shooting 50% in that second quarter. And balance throughout. 9 different Cardinals have scored in this first half. Let's check in with Holly and Coach Jeff Walls.
Well, Coach, you've made some different adjustments throughout that first half. Their length of their zone, what are you doing better to attack that here?
Well, we're getting the ball into the middle of the paint, but the problem is we're not great shooting over people, so I don't necessarily want them to take that shot. We've got to attack from that spot to get somebody an open look. The last 2 minutes, minute and a half, I thought we did a great job of moving the basketball. Narika Kono did a nice little shot fake, gets it at the elbow, and then we were smart enough to actually look for her a second time. You know, it's pretty amazing when someone makes it once, you might want to try to get them a shot the second time, and she knocks down a 3 in the corner. So I got to give our kids credit for that, but we had some bonehead things that we got to get smarter at. Like, we have a great opportunity in transition, and we just hand the ball to the person running next to us, and we get a travel call. We've got to spread the floor, make them chase us so we can execute. But defensively, they're a handful. We've got our post and foul trouble there. We got both of them with 2. So hopefully we can, survive this second half because we're going to need them to battle down low.
Thank you so much, Coach Walls. Appreciate your time there.
Thank you, Holly. Appreciate you all.
Thank you. All right, let's check in now with our folks in the ACC studio. My first ever toss to Muffet McGraw.
20 minutes to go for a spot in the ACC championship game tomorrow. And at the half, Louisville on top of Syracuse 37-30 as the Cardinals try for the sweep of the regular season and the tournament. Welcome back to Greensboro. Beth Mullins, Debbie Antonelli, Holly Rowe. 9 different Cardinals scoring in that first half. Debbie, they assisted on 50% of their baskets.
Beth, Louisville's best when they dribble with a purpose, they play inside out, and they move the ball. This is a terrific example of good teamwork to take advantage of all that offensive balance that they have. Ball goes inside, kicks back out to the three-point line. When they get a piece of the paint, they work inside out. They get uncontested looks outside the arc. And when they play unselfishly and they make one more wide open look, that's the way the Cardinals play, with that balance and with that unselfish offensive mindset.
They have outscored the Orange outside the arc 15-zip. 10 turnovers costly for the Cuse, although they've managed to hang around in this one. They're hoping to get Camila Cardoso some more touches. She only had the 3 shots in that first half. And Dana Evans, the player of the year in the Atlantic Coast Conference, through a game and a half, just 4 of 21 shooting. But her teammates have picked her up so far on the scoreboard.
So I'm expecting more ball pressure out of Louisville, and Stratman, who got hot in the second half yesterday, might start to get hot and see a big basket here in the second.
They rallied from a double-digit deficit in the second half yesterday and knocked off the 4-seed Florida State at the buzzer. Evans with the drive and the lefty lay-in.
I mean, what a wide open look for Dana, and right to the gap quickly off the bounce. Explosive. You really only need 2 dribbles in a quarter court.
Handful of players with 2 fouls in that first half. Nobody with 3. Engstler draws the foul on Mikasa Robinson.
That was a matchup that Syracuse took advantage of early in the first quarter, with Mikasa Robinson at 5'8" and Engstler at 6'1".
She's been a bright spot for the Orange. 8 points, 5 rebounds in that first half. Cuse is getting it done at the line. They're now 11 for 11 today.
Easy scoring, Beth. I mean, when you heard Holly talking about lack of depth and not having this full squad.
And they keep fresh legs. They've already had a couple of players that have gone back-to-back 40-minute performances. As Cochran scores, she was limited in that first half with 2 quick fouls.
Can't go over, got to go around. Good footwork inside by Olivia.
to flatten it out, and now they'll bring Cardoso up for the on-ball screen with Lewis.
Yeah, you keep going under that until Lewis hits a few.
0 for 7 from downtown for Syracuse. Everybody with a touch on this possession for Louisville, and Robinson is there to clean it up.
That's what she does. What Enxler is to Syracuse, Mikasa Robinson is to Louisville.
Cards have hit 3 of 4 shots coming out of the locker room. Winner into the finals tomorrow. Coming up next, Georgia Tech and NC State in our second semi as Cardoso. There's a nice play on the ball reversal to get her a touch. And the feed from Strautmana. Cuse hanging around, 43-36 early in this second half. (43-36), Louisville a lead over Syracuse. Duke and Carolina squaring off tonight at 6 Eastern, and we are throwing another watch party. Jordan Cornette hosts along with Carlos Boozer and Vince Carter. Will be in the studio. They'll be sharing stories and reacting in real time to all the action. Watch the game with us right here on ACC Net and the ESPN app.
We sprinted over there last year after the semifinals and watched that game. We had a great time in Cameron, and Holly was in there too.
And then will be getting ready to come in here to Greensboro next week for their tournament. Cardoso setting a couple of screens here for Lewis, trying to get away from Evans.
Well, they're trying to isolate Enxler inside. Good D by Smith, good read, good ball pressure.
Kiana with the pick, Robinson with the and one.
A dangerous time for Syracuse. Turnover results in buckets for Louisville. Mikasa Robinson couldn't even see the rim with all those bodies and that length. Look, she just threw it up there to get to the free throw line. Smart play.
Where the Cardinals just beat them up the floor. The pressure has been constant, full court today, trying to wear down the Orange, playing their third game in as many days. Lead is back up to double figures. Cardoso out to Strautmana. Off the mark. Now 0 for 8 from downtown for a team that is heavily reliant on knocking down the triples. Evans can't hit it.
Cochran tried to throw it off Enxler. See, now the screens set right here are better for the bigs for Syracuse, because Cardoso can get position in the lane instead of trying to take help away on the weak side. That's a great skip pass because Haley Van Lith is worried about the lob, so she's got 2 feet in the paint. Strautmana, capable three-point shooter on the weak side.
And finally, they knock down their first triple. Cochran. And that will be the 3rd personal foul on Cardoso.
Yeah, and you know what? I don't like it. I think Cochran was losing her balance. Nah,
Big break there for Louisville. Cochran makes the card 8 for 8. How about a combined 20 of 20 for these two teams at the line? Lewis, who was just 1 of 7 shooting. She's had 5 trips to the line, 7 points so far.
Back-to-back horn set. I like this set for Syracuse because the bigs on the elbows are really good screeners, and that gives Kiera Lewis a chance to get off that screen into her scoring range.
First foul on Dana Evans. And a lob inside to Exler, looking to take advantage of Robinson down low, and they score.
See, when you run high-low in the middle of the floor, it takes help away from that dump-down pass because you can't help in the middle like that. I think they go right back to that same set. You know, this is the one thing about Jeff Walz and Quentin Hillsman, I'll tell you, but they don't overcoach it. If something's working, they'll go right back to running it. So you score, they're going to run the same thing.
And they were looking to set up Exler, and Robinson fouls her, and that is her third.
I mean, these guys know each other so well, so they almost can predict what they're going to run. And Exler doing a great job of working in a crowd.
And the Orange will force one of the best defenders in the conference to the sideline. Robinson goes out. Elizabeth Dixon has come on, 22 in white. Exler looking for three. Stroutmana. And a held ball. Possession arrow will go to Louisville. Under 5 to go in the third quarter. The top seed Cardinals out in front. (48-41), Louisville with the lead over Syracuse. Just under 5 to go here in the third quarter. The winners moving on to the ACC championship game.
Well, Jeff Walz and Quentin Hillsman have been buds for a long time. I would call them dudes if you could use that reference. They spoke last night, and this is a picture that Jeff shared that is Quentin's outfit of his velour sweatsuit with Jeff's head on. He said he was going to try to pull it off today, and Coach Q was like, don't even dare. You can't do it, man. I said, Jeff, the only thing you're missing are the glasses. But they're buddies. They get along. They talk everything but obviously the game today. Two really good strategists that know how to break the game down, and when their offenses are in front of their team bench in the second half, they're really good, like having point guards over there on the sideline.
The Big East teams that came over to the ACC have had tremendous success since joining the conference. Of course, Muffet-McGraw leading the way with Notre Dame.
That would be 5 ACC championships.
Louisville has the one tournament title, 4 consecutive regular season crowns. Syracuse has been to the finals before. And of course went to the Final Four in 2016.
So Jeff Walz countering with a big lineup on the floor when you play Dixon and Cochran together.
Oh, that pass right to Dana Evans. And will go in lefty for the lay-in.
Now that could be fatigue setting in, because that uphill pass from the wing to the point, that's a pick 6.
Evans now with 8 points. Cochran's 10 leads the way. Very balanced attack for Louisville. Exler with 14 for the Orange. And after Dana was 1 of 6 in the first half, she's hit 2 of her 3 shots here in the third. And the Orange turn it over again.
Yeah, I thought around the 7-minute mark in this quarter that it was a dangerous time for Syracuse, and now they've had back-to-back turnovers.
And again, only a couple of bodies on the bench to turn to with the injuries and the suspension of 4 players. Down 2 starters, Priscilla Williams and Tiana Manakaya. They hope to have Tiana back for the NCAA tournament. And fingers crossed that Priscilla Williams will be okay as well after a nasty fall on the court yesterday.
I actually had a social distance conversation with Tiana before the game and asked her how she was feeling, and she feels good. She obviously is not playing. She will be back for the NCAA tournament. And there's not a better, more inspiring story than Tiana Manakahia in this year's NCAA tournament.
Lower leg injury just before coming to Greensboro.
And of course her battle with cancer last year. Winner of the Bob Bradley Award, right? ACC Spirit and Courage Award this year for her comeback. Dana Evans, the Kay Yao Award winner for academics.
Exler with a rebound. Again, they rallied from a double-digit deficit in the quarterfinals yesterday to win. Gotta think, Debbie, if they can keep it close into the fourth quarter, you'll get a little shot of adrenaline, knowing you're in the home stretch. And a foul and a strong move to the glass for Elizabeth Dixon.
I think most coaches will tell you, Beth, that it's mental at this point. But when you're a player and it starts getting into your legs, you really got to fight that. That's why you condition to do all the things you do in the preseason to give yourself an opportunity to have this kind of chance to play.
Check out the ACC Championship Hub for everything you need to know about the ACC tournaments, including exclusive Chalk Talks, highlights, games, and prizes, accessible from the ACC mobile app, accchamphub.com. It is an absolute free throw shooting clinic here this afternoon. Orange 12 of 12, Cardinals 11 of 11.
I mean, you got to throw it in there when Cardoso's open.
She had the defender on her back, rattled in by Engstler. 16 for Emily to go along with 8 boards. Kono, open look, got it. Her second triple of the day.
What a boost off the bench. You start thinking about playing in the title game right now. If you're Jeff Walls, you start thinking about the kind of impact Kono can have on your team.
3 for 3 for 8 points on the afternoon and a big bounce off the bench.
Now I'm watching Cardoso, and Louisville continues to play behind her. That's why you got to give her the basketball when she shapes up to the ball.
That's just her 5th shot attempt of the game. And she'll head back to the free throw line.
You can't front her because she's 6'7". You have to play behind her and try to keep her off the block. Because when she catches it there, and if she gets 2 feet in the paint, forget about it.
One shot remains for Cardoso.
And there is the first miss at the free throw line by either side today. Approaching 1 minute to go here in the third. Beth Mullins, Debbie Antonelli, Holly Rowe with you. Semifinals Saturday in Greensboro from the ACC tournament. Got ACC, got SEC, got Pac-12 championship games on the family of networks tomorrow.
What a great time to watch hoops.
Baylor, or excuse me, the Big 12 and the Big 10 are a week behind. Baylor and Maryland have sewn up the regular season crowns in those 2 leagues. Of course, Connecticut, champions of the Big East, they are getting another big win right now against St. John's. And it would certainly look like Debbie, UConn and Stanford are a solid 1-2 heading into the selection committee's room to chat.
I agree. I think Texas A&M winning the SEC regular season is probably the other. But if South Carolina wins the SEC championship, they could get it. NC State certainly in the mix as well.
Yeah, it looks like that bottom seed is up for grabs still, right?
Well, you know, here's the thing. Like, if you're South Carolina, you're a 1 or you're a 2, and NC State's the other. It doesn't matter. You're still matching up. And Wes Moore will tell you it's just a different color uniform.
The whole tournament, remember, neutral sites in Texas. And it will be a true S-curve from 1 through 64. Evans to the line with 5 seconds to go in the quarter.
A great clear out, good call. Jeff Wall sensing his All-American needs a bucket. Plus he gets the one-on-one against Kiera Lewis, put another foul on her. This is a great job. Everybody clears out. This is a strong side drive by Dana Evans right down the lane line.
Yeah, there is no better money player at the line in the country than Dana Evans. best free throw shooter in Louisville history.
I'm not sure there's been a better closer this year than Dana Evans. 20 points a game, great balance in her skill set.
And dynamite in the last 5 minutes.
And a closer at the line.
That gets Dana into double figures after 4 points in the first half, 6 here in the third quarter. Syracuse will try for a heave. Strautmana good if it goes. Front rims it. Louisville trying to pull away. 10 minutes to go in the first ACC semifinal of the day.
In conference tournaments, history always takes center stage. But this year, history shares the stage with something greater. Justice. United, we ball.
Minutes to go for a spot in the ACC championship game. Top-seeded Louisville, winners of the last 4 regular season crowns, but just 1 tournament championship, so they've got something to prove. They're still fighting possibly for a #1 seed in the NCAA tournament if they can get the sweep of the ACC regular season and tournament crowns. NC State and Georgia Tech are coming up next. Kono, first miss of the day.
Well, they run a play for her because she just hit one.
Yesterday it was Haley Van Lith, a career-high 24 points, Haley Van Lith. But today it's been a much more balanced attack. Cardoso can't knock it down, and it will go to Louisville.
I can't wait to see Cardoso next year when she's finishing all those plays. I mean, she already shooting over 60% from the floor. She's still new and young to the game.
Best recruiting class in Syracuse history. They've got another really good one coming in next year. Almost everybody has a chance to come back next season due to the COVID.
What?
Kono on the bounce.
Wow.
Having the game of her young Louisville career here today.
Smart. Attack the big off the bounce.
Kono able to bother the shot there of Cardoso. Robinson. Knocked out of bounds.
I mean, you see Cardoso miss that shot, but you see the first 3 steps up the floor. It's dig, 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 and sprint. This is Kono right here. Gets hips and shoulders past Jabdi Taldi. What a take.
Well, I love the reaction of her teammates, her coaches.
Yeah, they love her.
Parker can't hit it.
She's gone to the offensive glass every time she's been on the floor, too. And I know that Jeff Walz will recognize that with his staff in film tomorrow. Or tonight.
Double team coming on Cardoso.
I mean, like, sometimes when you're trying to feed the post, you got to ball fake. Fake low to go high, fake high to go low. Because she's open.
Jabdi Taldi a chance for a 3-point play. First on Alana Smith.
And guys, I've been enjoying watching Jabdi Taldi because she's got a little more flair to her game, and there's good reason for it. She won a gold medal on the 3x3 team with France. She's from Paris, born in French Guiana, and her sister, her older sister, plays professionally in France. But you can see that 3-on-3 flair to her game. Moves very well. Not your typical post player. I really love this young player's game.
You know, Holly, she can shoot to 3. She's made 13 on the season. She's good at the free throw line. She's a really nice complementary piece to Camila Cardoso inside.
Lith tried to drop it off to Cochran, and Lewis stepped in the way. Do the Orange have one more push left in them? Van Lith in the trail, gave up the 3, settled for the tough 2. Orange with numbers, 4 on 3. Engstler spots up. Got it.
That's that lack of shot conscious that I'm talking about. Engstler missed the one previous, and then in transition, she knows that she can light it up from outside the arc in transition. Syracuse running the floor, looking to get some early offense.
(61-53) our score, Louisville on top, and we will have the ACC Tournament Championship game for you at noon Eastern tomorrow, followed by the SEC. And then tomorrow night in primetime, the Pac-12 championship game, all on ESPN. We know that Pac-12 final will be Stanford and UCLA. Pam Ward, LaChana Robinson on the call for that one.
How about a 1-3-1 zone by Quentin Hillsman? I was just talking to him about this today. Wondering how he liked it. We hadn't seen it in a while out of his team.
Van Lith corner, fouled by Engstler. The other matchups tomorrow still uncertain. The winner of this one will have a spot in the ACC final against either Georgia Tech or North Carolina State. And then the SEC semifinals this afternoon starting at 4 o'clock on ESPNU. Texas A&M Georgia and South Carolina Tennessee. All those games also available to stream on the ESPN app. Engstler has 10 of the last 14 points for Syracuse. Lewis, I don't think, has had a shot this half, and here she is. 1 for 8 today, forced to run more of the point this weekend at the ACC tournament due to the injury to Tiana Manakaya, who should be back for NCAA tournament time, out right now with a leg issue.
She'll be back, and it should not affect their seeding at all.
Right now, probably an 8 seed. Louisville, a 2 seed, according to the latest Charlie Cream bracketology.
That is a dangerous looking 8 seed. Just the sheer size can overwhelm teams.
Louisville, the resume for the Cardinals, who reached #1 earlier this year and then lost to NC State. They are hoping for a rematch because they need a top 25 net win. They do not have one. All those top 50 nets are from 25 to 50. But good enough for the net of 6. Of course, the net is replacing the RPI on the women's side. It has for the men a couple of seasons now.
You mentioned it earlier. There's 3 new things in the women's tournament this year. 1, geographical site. Number 2, no geography in seeding the teams. It's on the S-curve. And 3 is the first time we're using the net tool, which does replace the RPI. It should be very interesting and very exciting.
And how big is the eye test moving forward? We see how good a UConn is. They don't have great wins. They beat South Carolina, that's their best. In the Big East, they are handling St. John's, but the eye test obviously says that's an awfully good team.
No question about it. But you know, you want consistency if you can across the seeding of the team. So if you're going with the eye test, like in UConn's example, then the eye test should factor in for other teams as well.
Maryland is red hot right now. So is Baylor. They are wiping teams out. Stanford, 13 wins in a row by an average of 27 points. Maryland, 9-game win streak by an average of 28 points. Look at the win streaks right now that are active and the big margins. UConn by over 28 per game. They're winning big again today.
Maryland's the one that I think has caught many people by surprise. I'm not surprised at Texas A&M. I've had them in my top 10 all season, including the preseason. Gary Blair, the benefit of some transfers, but also player development and a really good defense. They can dial it up scoring-wise. Anything they want, they can get.
Yep. Holly?
A few interviews this week with Baylor for a feature that we're working on, and let me just tell you this, they think everyone's sleeping on them. They just haven't been talked about a lot this year, and Melissa Smith, you know, she was talking to me about, you can plan on us being in the championship game at the Big 12 tournament. I think a lot of the Baylor players have a little chip on their shoulder that they're really being overlooked this season.
Yeah, I think Melissa Smith, Holly, and Aaliyah Boston could really help themselves in the national play, get back in the national player of the year race with big SEC and Big 12 tournaments, because right now, Debbie, is the list. Paige Becker's UConn, Dana Evans, who we're watching here, Ashley Owusu has been fantastic for Maryland, and then the other hot freshman is Caitlin Clark at Iowa. Ridiculous numbers.
It's going to be really interesting to see who the Big Ten Player of the Year is. I think that will say a lot about where Caitlin Clark and Paige Becker sit on that National Freshman of the Year. But you know what, Baylor, they've only won 11 consecutive Big 12 championships. I mean, is there anyone that's going to actually challenge them in the Big 12? I mean, Iowa State has a win over them earlier this year, but that's it. They are solid. You know they're going to defend. Kim Mulkey will bring one of the best field goal percentage defenses in the country, which is a more important factor or metric when you're measuring defensive teams, not scoring defense or not points per game on the defensive end.
Here's Dana at the free throw line over the course of her career, and this season, 94%. The team is 15 of 15 so far today in this ACC semifinal.
So here's what I would say about Dana, because we have been watching her for a long time. We've watched her development. And we've watched her come to this ACC tournament and maybe not shoot the ball as well as she has. And twice she's come here with the weight of being Player of the Year. And sometimes that brings an additional target that's already on her back. Now, I'm not going to make an excuse for her, but what I am going to tell you is the character with which she plays with shows through in the end of games and close games, because she is a closer and she does want the ball. And Jeff Walz knows she can make free throws.
A rare miss there. Holly, what you got?
Well, I was just going to tell you guys that last game against Wake Forest, she was held to 8 points. It's the first time all season, and the only time so far, that she has not been in double figures all season. Her consistency has been remarkable. And even though she had 4 points in the first half, she's done a better job here in the second half getting to the free throw line, because her shot's just a little bit off right now, but she is scoring where she can, and that's at the free throw line.
No, you're right, Holly. I mean, she had 40 consecutive double-figure scoring outings, counting last year as well. And I mean, she's the ultimate closer for them. She might be the best closer in college basketball this year, because she can make those plays. And late in the fourth quarter, when the game was needed to be determined against Wake, she made 3 assists late that were really fantastic, that put the game on ice.
Let's see if Louisville can lock this down now. Under 4 minutes to go. The Orange are still within striking distance.
I like this 1-3-1, Beth. It's made Louisville hesitate. It's extended up the floor just a little bit, and that's where that length comes into play.
Lewis rebounds the Van Lith miss.
Good change in the fourth quarter by Coach Hilsman.
Lewis spinning, tough shot. And it will go back to the Cardinals.
I mean, you get a turnover, or you get a defensive rebound, and you can't have empty possessions right now if you're Syracuse. And what you have to do if you're Haley Van Lith right here is reverse the ball before midcourt, get it to the middle, and look to attack. You will automatically get numbers.
Evans trapped in the corner. They lob backside. And the miss from Dixon. Strautmane gets the save. Oh, and another turnover. That's 2 empty possessions for the Orange when they had the chance here to cut it to a possession.
I mean, you can just live the possessions on the sideline with Quentin Hillsman. He is so emotional with his team and so invested. Like I said, no empty possessions moving forward. You got to get to the free throw line. You can't turn the ball over.
Another wide open look for Dixon. And this time the finish, assist by Dana Evans.
You got to have better pressure on the ball right there. She should not be able to see to the opposite side of the floor with the size that Syracuse has.
Enxler, one-handed no. Cochran, and a one-and-done trip for the Cuse. Evans able to see the floor again. And the offensive foul going to be called on the screen.
Well, Louisville's giving Syracuse chances.
Under 2 minutes to go. Tremendous regular season success for Louisville since arriving in the ACC. But in the tournament, a little different story. The 2018 championship, they were runners-up in 2019. And on 4 other occasions, semi-final losses. They are trying to punch through to get back into the championship game. Cardoso backing in on a defender, and it's good.
That's what you call a power game.
Syracuse looking for stops or turnovers. Evans tries to wrap it around the backside and does. Making plays late in games again for the ACC Player of the Year. Sheldy Tabdi spinning short. Rebound Louisville. And now the Cardinals can take their time. Final minute of our first ACC semifinal with NC State and Georgia Tech coming up next. And looking like the top seed Louisville will advance into the final. Smith. Offensive rebound. Dixon got it.
What a great traffic rebound by Dixon. Really good depth by Louisville Cardinal today. Great balance scoring.
Good run into the semifinals for the Orange, and now hopefully for Syracuse, an opportunity to get healthy and get those suspended players back into the fold for a deep run in the NCAA tournament.
Watch out, I'm telling you, Syracuse can be a second weekend NCAA tournament team.
And for Louisville, they will live to play another day. They are into the ACC championship game tomorrow, awaiting the Wolfpack or the Ramblin' Wreck. 9 different players scoring, 4 of them in double digits today for Jeff Wall's Cards. And they will play for their second ACC championship tomorrow at noon. Evans with 13, Smith with 11, and Cochran and Noriko Kono off the bench with 10 apiece. Cochran ended up with a double-double, got 10 rebounds as well. Emily Enxler led the Orange with 21 points and 10 boards, an outstanding effort.
9 players for Louisville played double-digit minutes. That means they will not be tired for the title game tomorrow.
72-59, and Dana Evans is now with Holly Rowe.
Well, Dana Evans, last game was the first time all season you hadn't scored in double figures. How did you try to come out today and focus on how you can impact this team, whether or not your shots were falling?
Well, I came out today trying to get Kiana going. She's important for us, and we need her to knock down shots against NC State or Georgia Tech, whichever one we get a chance to play. So I had to get her going, Kos got going, and my thing was to come in and try to get everybody else going besides myself. I know my game will come. That's not nothing that I'm worried about. It's just getting my teammates going because I'm going to need everybody for this next game.
Yeah, I think it's important that other people, Kiana, 9 points in that first half, like you said, really great for you. Tell us a little bit about what it means to get into the championship game after that didn't happen last season.
It means a lot. As a senior, this is what I wanted. I mean, we got the opportunity to win another championship, and this is what it's all about. And I'm just excited for my freshmen and my newcomers because they said they never experienced this. So it's a blessing to be here and to get an opportunity to play again tomorrow.
What is the weight that you wear in these games in the postseason as the ACC two-time Player of the Year?
Well, I have a good team, so I don't have to put too much weight on my shoulders. It showed tonight. Narika Kono, she stepped up huge for us, making big shots after big shots. So I have a good team surrounded around me, so I don't have to put all that pressure around myself. I got teammates that has my back, and that's what I love.
All right. We'll see you in the championship game tomorrow. How does that sound?
Great. Thank you.
Thank you, Dana.
Thank you.
(72-59), Louisville a winner, and they are in to the championship game. Stick around, we've got NC State and Georgia Tech still to come. Let's get you to the studio. Kelsey, Monica, Kelly, and Muffet get you up to date on what's happening.